In the last section of this chapter, we're going to talk about circles. And in this video, we're going to talk about really just new terminology and definitions. And we'll begin with what the definition of a circle is. Definition: a circle, which we're going to call C, capital C, it's the set of all points in a plane that lie a fixed distance, r, from some fixed point. That fixed point is the center of the circle C. So to draw a picture, I think we all know what a circle looks like. And the center is about there. So in this definition, that would be the distance r. Every point on the circle is the same distance from that center, O. And that distance happens to be r. Okay, well, r is called, we used r for a reason. R is called the radius of the circle. And you can also call any segment that starts at O and ends at a point on the circle. So the nice way to write that would be any segment about OX, where O is already defined to be the center. So all I need to say here is that X is a point somewhere on the circle. So for example, X could be here. And then that would be considered a radius. A little messy there. Okay, so a point P is called exterior to the circle. You can probably guess what that means if it's somewhere out, say here, or maybe over here, or here, or here. And the precise way to state that it's exterior to the circle is simply by saying the line segment OP, the length of that line segment from O to P is greater than R. That means it's outside of the circle or exterior to the circle. The point P is interior to the circle if it's inside here. If its distance, OP, is less than little r, less than the radius. All right, let's look at some more terminology. We've got one bigger circle here with lots of points on it. And let's discuss each one of these. The first one is called the diameter. And in this circle, it's the line segment AG. And when we draw AG, we're going to go through the center. Any line segment from one point on the circle to another point on the circle that passes through the center is called a diameter. So I'll use a straight edge this time, at least on one of them. So that line segment is a diameter. The next one is the tangent through J. Now what that means is a straight line that passes through the circle at one and only one point, and that point is J. It is tangent to J. So it would look something like this. That is the tangent to the circle through the point J. It can also be called the point of contact or the point of tangency. And now a chord is a line segment that begins on the circle and ends on the circle. So let's find LH. Here we go. It's a line segment beginning with L, a point on the circle, and ending with H, another point on the circle. Notice it's not the diameter because it does not pass through the center O. A secant is very similar to a chord, only it's not a line segment. It's a line that goes through 2 points on the circle, not a line segment. So I, K, and it's not going to have endpoints. it's going to go on forever. So I'll put arrows on it like that. That is a secant. You could call it a secant line if you like. And then again, the chord begins and ends on the circle. The secant goes through 2 points on the circle. And then a central angle is any angle that has O as the vertex. So BOC will look like this. There's one ray, and then here's the ray starting at O, going through C, like that. This angle, BOC, is called a central angle, again, because the O, the middle point, which is the center of the circle, is the vertex of the angle. Okay, last one is an inscribed angle. That's simply going to mean you have 3 points DFE that make an angle, and F will be the center, the vertex of the angle. So DFE will be like here is the angle DFE, and that's called an inscribed angle. Again, the 3 points given here are all on the circle.